What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Court Farms in Farming Simulator 15. Almost forgot where I was. So, if you remember from the last episode, we were down here on Field 4 cutting the canola, and Perry is still over there doing that, driving the combine. I'm over here with the T7 250 hooked up to the mowers. We got to go mow this massive Field 23. If you look over here, Phil had come down yesterday afternoon and raked and baled that field over there, Field 3, and you can see the amount of bales that are on it. So what I'm going to do is I've talked to Thomas Dean, the caretaker, and I'm actually going to buy all the bales on this field and bring them back to Old Ridge with me, just to come up to the Unimog. I'll bring my DPW down sort of on the last day we're here. I'll load it up and bring it back to Old Ridge with me, But it's just me and Perry down here today, so I'm kind of doing double duty. I'm going to mow, and then one of the problems is that we only have 2 tractors, which is odd, but I guess the bank decided that all we really needed was 2. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to mow this, and then maybe I'll hook up the Unimog to the rake. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, But the canola harvest is going pretty well over there, as you can see. So everything seems to be working. Perry's not having any issues with the combine or anything. So I want to address a couple of comments. Dan, Texas Long Haul, you're absolutely right. Obviously, used equipment doesn't go for retail, but the auctioneer and the people at the auction site are pretty sure that combine's going to go for at least $300,000. Prices over here are a little higher than they are in America. So, again, way out of my price range. So, for the moment anyway. I've got loans on Old Ridge I have to pay back and everything else. So I can't, be like, okay, so I'm going to borrow another $300,000 to buy a combine that I don't really need. I'd have to show the bank some, significant need for that kind of money, and I don't really have it at the moment. So, but thanks for the information as always. I really appreciate it. So. And Mike, Reefy 1952 Mirrorman, it's awesome that you can run this map on Ultra, with your big dog graphics card. That's really cool. I hope to get there someday. I'd love to be able to run maps on Ultra. I can run some maps on Ultra. I just don't. This computer has a decent graphics card built into it, but it's nowhere near as good as, a 970 or 980. So, but, someday, don't crash into the heavy trailer. Another one of these bumpy farm tracks, that's for sure. Now, if I could have spared Phil to come down here, I could have got Phil mowing this while I went behind him in the Unimog with the rake and raked it up. But I just couldn't spare him. I needed some stuff done up at Old Ridge. So we're actually drilling alfalfa over there on Field 11 North where the potatoes were, just because I don't want to leave the fields. I was going to leave it fallow, but I don't want the topsoil loss, and the nitrate release and everything, so I decided to just put some. Oh, this track is awful. If I slow down though, right, I'm gonna snap the mowers right off the front of the link here. So I just decided to drill some alfalfa. Why not, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and again, I think I've discovered that it's these tractors that take a while to tab out. I'm not sure why, but I mean, you can see I wasn't having any problem a minute ago, so I think it's the tractors themselves, which is a minor glitch. It's not a big deal. These tractors are really very nice. So, like I said, these are from the pack from FSUK, where you get 50 tractors or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Just everything takes a while to sort of get going is all. And off we go, mowing some more grass. Not a whole lot else to do, at the moment. So, one thing about doing this kind of work is that, you're not, obviously this being sort of a, at the end of its current, incarnation as a farm, there's no animals to take care of. There's, none of the other stuff that you would normally do, during the day. So it's all just getting this stuff done. Which is fine, that's why I'm here. Really stuck? That must be a pretty deep hole. I guess if I lifted the mowers, but I don't really want to do that. So let's go ahead and give it some beans here. Give it some diff and all that. Oh. wonder if Mr. Dean would come over here and run this for me. You know what? I'm gonna go down to the combine, empty him out, call Mr. Dean, and see if he'll come up and mow this so I can rake it behind him. I think that might be the most efficient way to do it. You know, again, I don't want to be here forever trying to get this stuff done. So let's see. Let's grab this. I'm sure he's probably not full, but I could probably still empty him anyway. Just the amount of bales that it's going to require, you know, that are going to need to be moved around here is going to take a very long time. So I want to get as much stuff done as I can. Easy, easy, easy. I'm getting a little too used to this cab suspension. I do it in the class too, where I end up driving over stuff faster than I should because the cab suspension soaks it up. But it reminds you once in a while when it bottoms out and you slam that, the airbag in the suspension seat slams against the bottom of the chassis, the bottom of the cab, I should say. I have to apologize if you can hear my phone. My cell phone has been blowing up today, and I'm not really sure why. All of a sudden, I'm extremely popular. So, oh, of course you are. Why did I try to do it that way? That's one thing about Perry. He's not very patient. He kind of says, okay, you know what? You figure out. You figure it out. You get under the pipe. You're the karting tractor. I'm just going to keep cutting. Oh, he's very efficient in that manner. So, all right, put the pipe back out now. Now he'll mess with me. Put the pipe in and out. Let's see. Some of this, perhaps. Let's see if I can get under the pipe at some point. Nope. Looks like we might have our first load of canola going up to Church Fields. That'll be cool. No, Perry, what are you doing? You're driving a straight line there, my friend. Maybe I'll just pace him until the tipper is full, and then we'll bring it up to Church Fields. Probably going to take a while to get full. You know what? I'll just bring this up, this load up now. Why not? Mr. Change of Plans, right? You guys know me, because I'm running through my head all the stuff that I have to do, so. Looks like I left a little bit of grass in the meadow, but okay, Again, not my meadow, so. I mean, that's not maybe the right attitude to have, but. Because again, it's an hour drive out here. It's an hour drive back, and then, I still, generally, we get here pretty early in the morning. We got here a little later today, as you can see, because I had stuff on Old Ridge that I needed to get done before I came down here. So, the bank is fully aware of the fact that Old Ridge is my first priority. Just so long as this crop gets cut and everything before it goes bad, that's really their only concern. So, I also have stuff in the sheds that need to be sold, but I'm going to do that sort of last. That'll be one of the last things I do. Although if I was smart, I'd probably do it before I started stacking bales up there. So. That entrance, though, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bypass the scale because the scale is kind of a pain in the butt. So. Now, hopefully, I can catch the tip point on this thing, which I don't think I can. Well, maybe I can. Come on, mouse. Work with me. There we go. Again, pay no mind to the massive amount of money that's up there in the HUD. Again, as far as the game goes, I had to get this all set up so that I could, buy the equipment and start running the farm and everything. So, one thing this Joskin does not like to do is turn. I have discovered that. Because if I had some weight on the front, it just drags the front end of the tractor around. So. Come on, make the turn, make the turn, make the There you go. Again, I doubt very much that this particular place was set up for, these big old pieces of equipment, but this is the place the bank made the deal with, so this is where I've got to bring it, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. I suppose I could try backing in there. That might be a little easier. I don't know. Me backing anything up, is that ever easier? But again, excuse me if I go quiet. The tongue is, it's better. It's not great today. It hurts. It's not so much swollen now as it's just sore, and I just can't seem to get rid of that all the way. So, a little annoying, but we'll live with it. It will get better eventually. So, all right, I think I'll leave you right there. Is Mr. Dean? How are you doing? You doing okay? Yeah, you're doing just fine. Still got a little ways left on this field. Not too much though. Has Mr. Dean showed up here yet? He has. Okay. Let's see. So, Mr. Dean is going to be courseplay, of course. Any chance that this is going to show up? What field is this? 23? It is not. Okay, you know what we're going to do? Just because it's going to take a very long time to do this. If I don't use course, well, I mean, it's going to take a very long time to do it regardless. But at least with courseplay, I can be doing something else. So, it's funny. I try really hard to stay sort of in character with this, but it's tough sometimes. It is a game, obviously. So, you guys may have. Hopefully, you guys did. You watched Shawnee B's sort of tutorial on how to cut grass on courseplay. There's multiple ways to do it. If you have a a field that's an actual field, and you can use courseplay to sort of determine the field outlines. I didn't try that. I suppose I could try that to see if that works. I doubt it will, but we'll try it. You can just do something like this. Nope, that didn't work. Normally it'll take a minute to work, so nope, that didn't work. So obviously the other way you would do it is you would just drive around the field. Just do course markers. Probably go a little faster though, because this field is really big. Just drive around, make an outline course, and then let courseplay in the field work section, in the course generation section, let courseplay figure it out. Ugh. That hole though, geez, BP, you're gonna end up owning all this equipment if you break it. I will say, I wish, it's too bad this was so far away, because if I could buy just this meadow, I probably would. I don't know what it would go for. I bet this would have to be $750,000, probably somewhere around there. Again, out of my price range. I could probably get a field lease on it, or a field loan on it probably, but it's a long drive to come down and cut grass and bale and then haul it back. Gonna obviously have to come up with another solution for that. On the ride back, me and Perry were talking about it, and he was like, he says, it's too bad you can't, sort of come up with some financing and maybe pick this farm up, and then we could hire some other people, and and we could sort of concurrently run these farms, and I could come down here and be a farm manager and everything. I think he's looking for a promotion, is what I think, which is kind of funny when you think about it, but this is a big farm, and to get it up and running. And to get it up and running to where it can be prosperous and self-sustaining. What I don't want to do is I don't want to make Old Ridge suffer because I'm trying to get this farm back up. You know what I mean? And I don't know that I want to go $3.5 million in debt. Am I ever going to have, $3.5 million, to cash? Never. Old Ridge is not that big. It's not that kind of farm. You know what I mean? It's not really a cash farm. I really look at Old Ridge as a legacy, as a, I'm the steward of it right now, and I'm trying to keep it, in line with its history and everything else. But, it's never going to be a huge moneymaker. This farm could be a huge moneymaker if it was run correctly, and I'm pretty sure I could run it correctly. I just, the initial outlay of cash would be so much that I don't know if I could do it. And the funny thing is, of course, we're driving back and, we're talking and whatever. And I get back to the house, and I feed my dogs, and I'm watching a little TV. And I'm like, ugh, and you got that thought in my head now, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, well, can I go to the bank or a bank, or maybe even the government, and be like, okay, so I'd really like to buy this farm, and I need X amount of money, and I need X amount of money on top of that as some cushion money to sort of get everything, set up and running and everything I need. This farm is set up to be, to have a pretty enormous dairy. Having two big dairies, I don't know. Obviously this farm is far more set up for that, I think, because of the amount of grass, because of the size of the field. You definitely get a bunch of straw off these fields. And I really, honestly, until I fell asleep, in my big padded leather chair in front of my wood stove, I was giving it some serious thought, and then I woke up this morning and said, okay, BP, stop dreaming, and let's go to work. So, we have now driven around and done our outline course, and of course you guys saw this video, Shawnee's video. You don't really need another tutorial from me, but, I'm going to give you one anyways. I want to get as close to this as possible. Okay. That's not the most ideal outline course, but it'll work. Then, you just need to back up here. I should probably save this. I guess I will. I'll save it. I may have to stop, so. F23, and I call everything markers. I know what that means, So, markers meaning, the outline of the field, so. Whoops. Hedge. Now, let's see. So, we're on field work. We will take this. Actually, we got to reset it first. And then load F23 markers. Go into this. Currently loaded course. That's what I want. Is this 19 meters? I don't think it is. It may be. Let's get them unfolded and make sure, though. One handy thing about courseplay, for the most part, unless it's, sometimes it struggles a little bit with mods to figure out the width if they're not set just so. But, no, 9.6. That's better. Starting corner. This is the northeast, I believe. I think we want to go south. I definitely want some headlands because of these hedges, so maybe 3 headlands after, and then we will generate the course. And we'll see where that puts the... Oh, perfect. Hey, I got it right. How about that? And we will also save this. We'll save this as Field 23 Mo. Field 23 Mo. One little tip I can give you about courseplay. If you're doing a lot of courses, always put the field number and, or if you're doing transfer courses or whatever, put where, what you're picking up, where it's going and all that. Makes it a lot easier to remember when you go back in and you start generating a lot of courses. You have a lot of fields, you have a lot of stuff going on. Makes it a lot easier to remember what is what. So I learned that the hard way in Farming Simulator 13 when I had so many courses, especially if you have a lot of courses going to the same field or doing the same thing on the field. You can group them by field, you can group them by meters, you can group them by job. Whatever makes it easier for you to remember. First waypoint, speed. 5 miles an hour? No, we need to go faster. Can we go... I want to make sure he turns okay, though, so... and drive the course. And I'll just turn those off. And there we go. And once again, BP shows his just absolute laziness because he can't be arsed to drive a mower around a field. All right, there you go, Mr. Dean. Have fun. Yeah, I really like the windrow texture on this. I really like the sort of, underlying texture of this. I think you're going to probably see this on Old Ridge before long. Because as you guys know, I've got a bunch of winter projects that I want to get done over the winter. I actually have a map all prepared with all that stuff done already, I like to do that ahead of time so that I can just drop the map in the mod folder and go. But I may take a look at the foliage textures on this map and include these on Old Ridge as well. It's the same basic grass texture that I use on Old Ridge. It's just a different windrow and a different underlying texture, and I really like it. So, okay, let's see. Let's tab around here once it catches up with me. I really think that northern, that looking north here. Well, this is technically south, but looking south because of the high def sky texture, because of the high def map boundary texture. You know, it just takes forever for stuff to catch up. Like I have tabbed twice now, and we're still looking at Mr. Dean mowing. And I can't do anything about that, so I apologize about that. We're sort of stuck here. The game's like, nope, I want to stay here. So this is where we're going to stay, I guess. There we go. We have caught up. And by some miracle, we've actually ended up on the thing I want to end up on. So very good. All right, Mr. Unimog, you might as well earn your money, too. I don't use you for much on Old Ridge, except for transportation, you know, and maybe hauling a sea tender around once in a while. But over here, you're going to be towing this big old rake, and I hope you have enough power to run it. Oh, I just realized I'm going to have to put the 3 points on. Now, I know we took them off down here, so... Because I didn't come down the road, obviously, the motorway with the 3 points on. I was going to take them off at Old Ridge, and I thought, you know what? You never know, right? So, because this particular rake, which is massive, you know, as you would expect for a farm this size, requires the 3 points. So, yep, I will just jump out, bolt my 3 points on. That's the rear 3 point on here real quick. Is it M? It is M. There we go. Very good. Boy, if it was only that quick in real life, huh? This rake is huge. It's not particularly heavy, but it is massive. So, and of course, we all know how well the Unimog doesn't turn. It doesn't turn awesome. Ooh, that's a little heavy. Oh well. Back up to the meadow we go. Perry's still going right around there. Very nice. I got to check the field list to make sure that we've cut everything that we were supposed to cut. Make sure there's nothing kicking around anywhere that we're supposed to cut that we didn't. Easy up this road. I mean, yes, the Unimog is technically an off-road vehicle, but you know, the suspension on this has been around a while. So it was funny. We were driving back yesterday, and Perry was, you know, kind of drifting off in the passenger seat over there. And you know, the motorways in the UK are in pretty good shape, but we went through a little bit of a construction area, sort of about halfway between here and where we get off the highway to go to Old Ridge, and there's a little bit of a seam between where they must have tore up an old part of road and put down a new part, and this thing hit it, and he bounced his head off the back window. I was like, well, you're going to go from being asleep to being unconscious. No, can't have that. He gave me the business for it a little bit. Oh, you got to be more careful. No, I got to say, I really enjoy working with these guys. You know, they're good workers and everything, so. You know, come from a big family too, and they're all farmers. So, you know, if I ever decided I needed more hands, or if I wanted to, you know, branch out the operation or whatever, I could always hire those guys, you know, because they're good workers, they're good people. So, all right, how do I want to do this? I think, of course, now it's going to take 10 minutes to get the outside view. There we go. And another 5 minutes to be able to scroll out. Let's get this unfolded first. I mean, look at how big this thing is. Now, obviously, you know, I go to agricultural shows, and I go to, you know, fairs, and not fairs, but, you know, like those big, you know, like Agritechnic and stuff like that. And I've seen these things, but I've never actually used one. So this thing is just amazingly massive. Do not want to go 50 miles an hour, though. I doubt very much the Unimog would go 50 pulling this thing anyway, so. It's got enough juice to run it. Does it have enough juice to pull it? Yes, it looks like it does. Excellent. Might as well get as much of a head start on this. Well, you know, or not a head start, but get, you know, as much done at once as we can. I think that makes sense. Now, you know, with the width on this thing pulls a lot of grass together. So, you know, you get pretty big windrows, which is very nice. And if I was a little bit more efficient, I wouldn't be leaving half of it like I'm doing. I'm just not used to using such a big rake. You know, obviously my rake at Old Ridge is, you know, a third of the size of this, so probably less than a third, or more than a third. You know, my rake is tiny compared to this monster. Good to see Mr. Dean out there doing some work. You know, he certainly wasn't, you know, he was like, oh, absolutely. You know, all I'm doing is basically sitting here answering the phone, so I'll be glad to come and help you. So he's a retired farmer, you know, was a farmer for, you know, about 35 years, and has retired. His sons, who did actually want to be farmers, have taken over his farm, so he has some time to come and, you know, help the bank out and stuff, give him something to do. I'll put him to work, why not? Now, the only problem with this is that I will get this raked up far faster than he'll be able to mow it. So, oh, am I going to catch this edge? I'm going to catch that edge. Okay, well, maybe if you lifted it there, maybe. Come on. Come on. Nope, that's not going to happen. Unimog just does not turn good enough for that. Luckily, this thing is sort of designed to make really tight turns, so... Oh, come on. Just trimming that hedge, don't mind that. That would be a case of, it would be nice if that wasn't colliding, you know? But again, you know, I understand why the map creator does that, so... Again, you're going to miss some, really? How do you miss anything with this massive rake? Because you can't drive in a straight line, that's why. The weight of this thing does pull the Unimog around a little bit. I will admit to that. So. 27 minutes. You know what we'll probably do? Probably get this row done, and then I'll go check on Perry, see how he's doing, see if he needs to be emptied or whatever. He's probably pretty close to being done. We'll take a look at the field list there and see if there's anything else that needs, any other crops that need to be cut. And then in the next episode, I will have finished this this field, got it all raked up and everything, and we'll be baling it. So, and then we'll be moving on to the next grass meadow that needs to be cut, because there's a few more yet. So. Just the baling is going to take a very long time. That strip right there is going to annoy me, but I'm not going to bother trying to pull it in, just because then I'll miss stuff on the other side, so I'll always have a strip. So I'll just live with it the way it is. All right. Nope. Gonna catch the hedge again. You know what we could do, actually? We could actually fold this up for now. That'll make it a little easier to move around. There we go. As I've said, this thing is a monster. So. And I'll just put it over here so I'm not in Mr. Dean's way. I'll let him get a little bit more of a head start. I could just follow him up and down, you know, but don't want to rush him, so... Shut that off, tab around, wait for the 5 minutes. Oh, how about that? It actually caught up with me. Oh, he's blinking over there. Very good. Which means he's getting full, so we will go over here and unload him. Except his pipe's going to be facing in the wrong direction, correct? Oh, is he done? Oh, he actually is done. Wow. Good job. Good job, Perry. Perry is efficient. There is no doubt about that. So that's cool. That'll be the last of the canola. We'll go up to Church Fields and sell that. And then we'll take a look at the farm list, the field list, and see if there's anything else that needs to be cut anywhere that I missed. And then it'll just be grass and baling, grass and raking and baling and shifting bales. And then once all that's done, well, you know, and then somewhere in between there, we got to sell everything in the sheds. Maybe do that in the next episode, I guess, before we start shifting bales. Turn on the beacon. And then, you know, we'll be coming sort of to the end of our time here at Court Farm. So, and pray that BP doesn't, you know, catch a wild hair and go into the bank and be like, can I borrow $3 million? How would I run 2 farms? I mean, that's me running back and forth. Obviously, I would have to hire a farm manager for this farm, you know. While I kind of focused on Old Ridge and just came down here once in a while to see what was going on. But again, you know, that's a fantasy. You know, I don't see that I could make that financially feasible. You know, I would spend the rest of my life in debt, which I'm going to anyway, but in that much debt. You know what I mean? You know, there's probably a pretty good revenue potential on this farm, as I've said. You know, if say it went for $3.5 million, you know, which means auction-wise you'd probably go 3.2, 3.1, somewhere around there, if you played your cards right, you know. So I'd still need about $3.75 million to sort of get it all set up and get it, you know, ready to go and everything, buy all the equipment and all that sort of stuff. And you could probably make that back in 5 or 6 years, you know. I don't know. I get, jeez, I can't believe I'm even considering this. Like, obviously right now all I'm really doing is talking out loud, but, you know, I would have to sell that idea to a bank, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, the bank that I deal with, the bank that actually has the note on this, you know, would probably be grateful to me for taking it off their hands. I don't know. I don't know if it's something that I could possibly do or not. All right, very good. Very, very good. Let's see. We could just turn this off right here. Let's tab around. You know what? Kind of like this as a screenshot, I think. What do you think? Does that make a nice screenshot? Why not, right? And nope, not home. Not home. There we go. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, it's going to be a few more episodes yet, just for the simple fact that, oh, field list. We were looking at the field list, you big doofus. Let's see. Not vehicle selection, map views. What's on 14? Is that grass? 14 is grass, I believe? Nope, 14 is barley. Did we do 14 yet? I don't think we did. We did 8 and 4. There's barley over on 2, which has already been cut. Somebody cut that already. I don't think we've done 14, so I think we have to do field 14. Okay. Well, so we'll do that in the next episode too. Perry, you're going to have to come back down with me again. Maybe I'll get Phil down. We'll get the whole crew down here, you know, and try to get some stuff done. Oh, I got to bring the header trailer over here too. I did drive across the street with the header on, but I'm not going to drive down the road with the header on. It's just too big. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. I know I am. Probably 3, 4, maybe 5 more episodes, depending on how long everything takes and how much I decide to do on screen. As always, let me know what you think. If you like it, please click the like button. As you guys know, it moves me up in the search recommendations on YouTube. Lets more people see, you know, my particular goofy brand of farm sim, which I have fun doing, and obviously you guys have fun watching. And thank you very much for that. As always, thank you for all your tips, for all your comments, for all your hints, your suggestions, your ideas, your story hooks. It means a lot to me. You guys are a huge part of all of this. Without you guys, this doesn't happen. It's as simple as that. And as always, if you saw Contracting on Court Farm, you like what you see, please click the subscribe button. It's the best way of being notified of when I make a video, which is pretty much every day, and if not every day, at least every 2 days. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.